Welcome everyone to the 10th episode of the BombCast. I'm here with Ryan Shields. We're coming at you from the Real Estate Video BootCamp headquarters of Remax right now, sitting not in an airport, even though it might look like that situation. So excited to spend the next 30 minutes with Ryan. Ryan, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and your business before we jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Shields. I'm from Brandon, Manitoba, out in Canada, so traveled quite a ways today to get here, but we have a small team with Royal LePage. I got my wife Jen, Justin Pro, and we actually just hired a new assistant last week. So kind of slowly growing in that. But yeah, no, thanks for having me out here.
Yeah, this is great. It's fun because this is the first time we've ever done a BombCast where I actually have the person live with me versus just doing a Zoom meeting. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Go ahead and drop in a comment or a like. Let us know that you're being. Saw several of you guys just popped on. And before we got started, I was telling Ryan, the fact that you guys have just joined us, stopped your day to sit in and participate with this is incredible to me. So just thank you right off the bat for being a part of this, for making the BombCast what it is. We want to make sure that this is as interactive as possible. The reason we do this is bring on video experts like Ryan so that you can ask them questions, you can engage with them, and that is the benefit for you being here live with us now. So we're gonna get in. We got a couple key topics we're gonna touch on today. We're gonna reference my notes here, kind of kick things off, and really we want to first start kind of at that high level, Ryan, and tell us a little bit about your journey into video and why did you first get started with video?
Well, I mean, it was funny because one of the jobs of our new assistant is just kind of moving some of our YouTube stuff around, and we were looking back through our YouTube page, and the first video was 7 years ago, and Jen and I had we died laughing because like half my head's cut off. I'm just looking at the monitor, and it's talking about absolutely nothing. It's absolute terrible. And so I'd kind of do a video, and then a month later I'd maybe shoot one more.
Yeah.
And it was just so sporadic, and then it kind of went by the wayside.
Yeah.
And then 3 years ago we were out at a conference, or I was out at a conference started in Calgary and moved on to Banff, and that's where I met Michael. And he just started talking about video, and it was kind of like a switch went off for me, is how powerful video could be. I dabbled with BombBomb very loosely before that, and then after that I kind of dove in, and that right around the time that the convert classes were running.
Yes.
And so we jumped into a convert class, and that class alone single-handedly changed our business because it got us comfortable with everything and got us into the
got you into the groove,
absolutely, yeah.
And that's probably like 2013, 14, I think, is when we were running Convert. Yeah. Probably many of you guys on with us now maybe were part of Convert. It was our kind of more intensive training courses that we did. There was a financial investment that was involved. And if I remember, if you told me right,
there was a hilarious story about that.
Tell us about that.
Absolutely, because at the time, Jen was in the business, but we have our 3 small boys. So at the time, the 2 of them were at home. So she was a stay-at-home mom. She's a physiotherapist by trade and stuff. So she was exhausted at the end of the day, and I was so excited about this Convert course, and I think it was like $2,000 or something. And so I was telling her all about it, and she was excited about it. Then I told her the price, and she's like, "Whoa!" And then she kind of left it, and I kind of kept prodding what I usually do.
Right.
And she's like, "Fine, I don't care." She was just like, she's like, "Do whatever you want to do, I don't care." And she storms out of there. And that's fine. So I got the go-ahead from my wife. I said, jump on my computer, sign up.
Right.
And all I could hear, because I must have got the email notification and she was on the computer, and all I could hear is from downstairs, "You signed up for that damn course? What are you doing?" But then it was too long. It was gone. But she joined me on all the calls, and I mean, she does video all the time now. It was kind of a big turning point for her too, that you said the financial investment kind of forced us to do it. Yeah,
I remember that, and it's funny. I mean, I'm sure you're probably not the only people that videos cause some relational tension with things, and especially when money's involved, kind of on that level. So kind of so you guys kind of dabble in it. You stopped. You made that commitment to Convert. And then things really started to change, kind of the business and how you guys were really leveraging video. Take us kind of through kind of 2014 and on, and how you really began to leverage video on that side of things.
Well, I mean, first of all, we got the one-to-one videos with our clients through BombBomb, and that we kind of got over the fear of being behind the camera, using that. And then we did a series that a few people have done now, our 30 favorite places in 30 days. And literally it was raw beyond raw. It was with a selfie stick on our cell phone, and I would stand out and we'd be holding it out. There was no audio, there was no nothing. And the traction it got was like a huge moment. Like, this is a powerful tool. We did it in the month of June, and so I was out at the baseball field, and I remember this perfectly. I got stopped on the baseball field. Where are you guys going tomorrow? I can't wait to see what you're doing tomorrow. And it took me a minute to clue into it. I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing tomorrow? And so people were like following around trying to guess where we were going. And then we'd get emails saying, I didn't have any idea about this location or this bike park. We've been living in Brandon for 10 years. Like, thank you so much. And then for Jen, it was in that same series because she would get stopped. People would start talking to her, and she'd look at me. She's like, "Do you know who that was?" And people began to know who we were and really recognized us. And it wasn't real estate related at all. It was all talking about our community and about Brandon. And people's really just kind of interacted with it.
We always joke about that idea, like being internet famous, right? Like, and I think something that is important to touch on this too, and we kind of have touched on this theme before in the BombCast, but it's one of these ideas that sometimes people think about exposure as like the masses, right? The viral video, millions of views, and that's okay, and sure, that's for some, but the real power is when you're tapping into your community and you're walking through the grocery store and you get stopped. Like, who cares that 1 million people watched your video all over the world? Sure, that has some level of brand equity, but the real power is when you can have a transaction with that person, right? There's real business being done because you're focused in on that community, because you're focused in those connections that way.
Absolutely. And I mean, with real estate, you want to stay top of mind all the time. And we found video and putting the spotlight on other people our way of being able to stay top of mind with people. Because if I'm asking you if you want to buy or sell a house today and you don't want to, you just tune us out right away. But we put the spotlight on our community, and it's relevant information all the time to people who live in our community. So we found a way to stay top of mind and not be sales pitchy all the time. And being raw and authentic has done that for us with video.
That's cool. So if you guys are just joining us on the BombCast, welcome. We've got Ryan Shields, real estate agent up in Canada, who traveled thousands of miles to come to a video boot camp here in Denver, Colorado, just north of Colorado Springs, where BombBomb's headquarters. So we get to be live together, which is a lot more fun than sometimes doing the Zoom meetings on that side of things. Ryan's telling us a little about his journey into video. I'm sure many of you have had the same experience or had some of those similar feelings. Drop your comments in. We're watching them come up here, seeing them on the screen. In fact, you were talking about Convert. I think Danny, who was your Convert coach, he just dropped a comment in saying it's so fun seeing you on the screen. So what's up, Danny?
Hey, Daddy.
So anyways, I want to pivot a little bit because, you know, you guys, both you and Jen, were nominated as top 50 video influencers in different categories. I remember, if I remember correctly, Jen is in listings, and that you were nominated in the community side of things. So we've kind of been talking a little bit about providing value to the community and stuff. Before we go any further, though, I think we got a video from Jen, who can't be here, and hopefully, Jen, you're watching. But let's pop this video and show an example, and then I want to kind of dive into a little bit of how you guys kind of put this together and the why and stuff. So Matt, if you want to roll the example video, we'll come back shortly.
Hi, it's Jen from the Shields Group with Royal LePage Martin Liberty Realty. If you're looking for a perfect home for you and your family, look no further than 56 Astor Crescent. It's a beautifully renovated main floor, including brand new, big, beautiful windows. With almost 1,250 square feet of living space, plus a finished basement, this house has so much room for you and your family. Perfect space for living room dance parties.
All right, I love that. It's such a fun video, and especially when you think about listing videos and how that can really bring a lot of value to the business. Walk us through a little bit, first conceptually, kind of how you guys put this together, the dancing, so much fun. So let's talk conceptually, and then I want to talk into actually how you did it, and what's the process you guys went through to create that kind of video.
It's fun because Jen and I are extremely different when it comes to the way we do the business, the way we see things. We're just like two different people completely. So I have a concept when we start, and then she starts putting her touch on it because she's behind or in the shot and that. So I have an idea of the way I want something to look, and then she puts her spin on it. It was just, we were standing there talking, and we were kind of, for this video, brainstorming, well, what can we do, what can we do? And all of a sudden she's like, I just feel like we should dance. Like, this place is huge. Like, we should be dancing right here. And so I was like, well, let's roll with it. And that was it. It was just kind of a spur of the moment. She felt that's what the house was. And it's funny because as it turned out, the owners had numerous dance parties in that exact location without us knowing. It was just hilarious the way it played out, because we always send the video to them first, and she's like, that is our house to a T. Like, that is perfect. And
that's
it's just
cool.
So I mean, our concepts are just collaboration between the two of us to put our own feel on it.
And I know everyone that's watching may not be in real estate. I'm going to go on a real specific real estate question here, just kind of for our audience that is in real estate. One thing that I've heard a lot from agents is that sometimes putting together a listing video can be a bit difficult, right? Like, what do? Do you show the kitchen? Do you show the bathroom? Do you do a full-on walkthrough? How do you make it visually interesting? What are some of the tactics that you guys put into play to bring a home to life through a listing video?
We just try to tell a story from our side of things. We want to show what it's like to live in the house, show what the house can be, because I mean, at the end of the day, the house will always sell itself when you get into it, but our job is selling more than just the house. It's selling the neighborhood. So we, like in that video, we start walking on the quiet street, and then at the end of the video, we didn't show it, but you can see the school in the background. So we talk about that. So it's just really highlighting everything that's around the house, not specifically just the walls and the rooms in that, because I mean, all the houses have walls and rooms. If there's a cool feature, we'll talk about it, but it's more painting a picture of the entire neighborhood and the property that's around it. Yeah.
So then, okay. So tell me a little bit though, production-wise. I know that's always a hang-up. Doesn't matter how you're doing video. People think that it requires a lot of gear, and I'm sure you guys are using a lot of expensive gear to put together videos like that. Like, give me your process.
To be completely honest, all of our videos are shot 100% on an iPhone 7. 100%.
Love it.
I've never shot on a professional camera like a DSLR or anything. Everything we've always done has been as raw and authentic as we can be. But then in the same sense, the cameras on these phones now are good enough. The quality's still there. We do have other tools. We do have gimbals and mics, and we do use lighting in that now. We've kind of started to go out, but a couple years, it's simple. I didn't want to get paralyzed by waiting for all the right tools to show up. It's been successful for us, so we've just kind of ran with it. And at some point, will we get a different camera? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because the cameras on phones keep getting so good.
And everyone, you know, even questions are coming in here talking about equipment. Keep them coming. Cheryl's on an iPhone 7 exclusively as well. So I don't think you're alone in how we're using this. But I think the benefits too are remembering that there are other tools you can get, like a gimbal, right?
Absolutely.
DJI has the Osmo. It's a killer gimbal for your phone. They're getting ready to come out the second version. I think it's going to be like sub $200. Check it out. We'll be doing a review on it later on the blog. It's such a valuable piece. Those little ancillary things to add, but remember that the best camera you have is in your pocket.
Well, absolutely. And I think we spent a couple $100 at Christmas, and we got a new mic, and then we got like the Zoom wireless transmitter and stuff, and just stuff, little things that make a huge difference, but it hasn't cost us thousands upon thousands of dollars. And then we do all our own, or I do all our own editing.
So someone actually just popped a question in asking, how do you get music in? How do you do some of your editing? Take us a little bit through, just real practical, because I think it's helpful for the audience to kind of, how do you go through that process?
Absolutely. We use ScreenFlow as our editing software in that. And I do all the editing, and it's just, actually Michael Thorne has taught me a ton about it, and he sent me a few different things. And it's just, it's a passion of mine now. It's a way for me to disconnect and kind of recharge and
edit.
I put headphones on and I go and edit, but I do it all myself in the evenings. We buy all our tracks and
Okay,
stuff.
I was going to ask music. Where do you go to get music? How do you do that?
There's a few different sites in that. I think the last one we reached out, I think it's Premium Beat, I believe is what it's called, and that. So yeah, we'll go and spend the $50 for a song and that fits it properly.
Right.
And then we'll reuse them, and we'll kind of be creative with it. There's a couple local bands that I've got good connections with that have said use anything you want of ours. So we'll do that from time to time if it fits, and we just kind of roll with what we have.
That's awesome. One of the things too I know that's out there, YouTube has a library of free music. I think it's called like YouTube/audio. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. If you Google YouTube free music, you'll find licensed free content that's out there that you can use. It's a great resource for a lot of people who are looking to do music. The other thing is, if you're looking for some advanced moves on this stuff, go join the RE Video Studios group. There's incredible content always being there. Check it out on Facebook. A great resource for anyone that's looking to up their video game. And again, whether that's just using your phone or getting more advanced tactics kind of on the video side of things.
Well, absolutely. And then you got the guys like Jesse Peters, Michael Thorne that run the RE Video Studio. And I mean, that's why we're here, is learning tips and tricks from them. But in all those other communities, they share it all the time. Like it's a very interesting community, the video community, where there's really no secrets.
Right.
I want to see you succeed. I want to tell you what we're doing, and there's so many different ways to succeed with video and be able to market yourself and market your brand, and everybody wants to see each other succeed. That's what's kind of cool and inspiring about it.
It is, and it's so important to remember too. Is like that hyper local element, right?
Yeah.
Just because someone can take your exact idea and they're in a different market, that's awesome. Like, it's not going to ultimately affect you. George just popped in a question asking about what was the editing software you guys are using. ScreenFlow. That's a great one. There's a lot of other ones out there. I've used Camtasia in the past. That's great. If you're a Mac user, any iMovie product that you have is easy to use. So there's a lot of great resources out there. Recently, I just found, I don't know if you're familiar with Google Photos as an app on your phone, but it'll bring in all your videos. And then they got a tool in there called Clips that allows you to put 3 or 4 clips together and trim them up all in there. In like 30 seconds, you can have a decent looking little video that's 15, 30 seconds. It's great for social. So check that out as well. Google Photos, a great resource. Looks like Ali just popped in the link to the video to ScreenFlow. So check that out if that's a resource that you're curious about. Bob just said he's using ScreenFlow as well. So it sounds like the community, it's a good editing tool.
With ScreenFlow, and that's a software we're going to use tomorrow to edit here. 14 days free trial with ScreenFlow in that too. So if you want to give it a shot, I mean, it will be watermarked, but it's still something you can do.
Absolutely. Jesse Peters, get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse's just popping a selfie.
I'm not trying to.
He's gonna come in.
Live bomb, photo bomb, video bomb. This amazing conversation here, but some great minds are happening here right now.
It is. It's been good so far. Jesse, right now, right off the top of your head, #1 video tip to our audience: go.
Be you.
There you go, people. Be you.
Surprise!
It's not even about video. It's
no,
about
it's not. Showcasing who you are, right?
Yeah.
Like, just be you. You've got value. People want to engage with who you are and energies that you bring and interests that you share.
Yeah.
And if you don't put it out there, people don't know. So,
absolutely.
Keep it up,
awesome.
guys.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're here going live at the Video BootCamp from Remax headquarters in Denver, talking a lot about some practical ways that you can be using video in your business with Ryan Shields. If you've got questions, please pop them in. We're trying to get them as they're coming through, make sure that we're answering your questions. We've been talking some real practical things, and so the other thing I'll kind of pivot to now is, so we're talking listings and how Jen is using them, but also let's talk about pivot to community videos. So that's kind of your thing. You're doing a lot of the community videos. Why are community videos so important to your business?
Well, community videos are for a number of reasons. Like I was saying, it keeps me top of mind. It keeps our brand top of mind. But it's also creating a database for when people are moving into brand and are trying to learn about brand. And it's why we love it. It's why we love our community. I mean, if we didn't love our community, I probably wouldn't be selling houses in my community trying to tell you how great it is. So the more ways I can put a spotlight on people in our community, businesses in our community, the better I'm going to feel about telling you to come and move to Brandon. Because if I don't love it, if I don't love the local restaurants, if I don't love the people there, I kind of have a tough time telling you about it. And so it's just being authentic. It's I mean, like I said, we have our 3 kids, so it's where do we like to go for supper with the kids? Where do we like to go skating, like outdoor skating? And the unique features about Brandon that a lot of people don't know about that I just want to put a spotlight on. And it keeps me committed to our business. It keeps me committed to what we want to do. And in the same sense, it provides value to people that might not know these things.
Right, right. So we were talking earlier, and you're telling a story that you were doing a interview with your mayor.
Yeah.
And you pulled out your phone just to shoot the interview, and he was a little shocked that you were using the phone to go through that process.
Yeah.
So take me through I think community videos are great. A lot of people love them. But again, sometimes there can be that intimidating factor of like, okay, well, how? So take me through a little bit of the process. How do you kind of go, let's say you're going to shoot the hockey rink and you want to focus on that. What do you put in kind of in pre-production, creating it, and post? Kind of walk through the process.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I'll have a bit of a game plan. I don't want to say it's a storyboard because it's not, but I'll have bullet points of what we want to do or what I want it to end up looking like. And with the mayor there, I sent him off all the questions so he knew exactly what we were doing. And those conversations are strictly just like it's almost like it's this type of conversation, very unscripted, very unsalesy of any sort. It's getting to know people. So we just sit down and have a conversation. We have our light set up, we have our video or our audio set up, and like I've said, we shoot everything on our phone. So we had a conversation about that. And if we're at the rink, we use our gimbal and we bring out all the tools that we have and just talk about what we like about it. Like it's the thing we do with video, I think really well is we're very authentic. We're very much who we are. So if it's loud, because that's where we are. I mean, there's lots of videos we shoot to our clients. Our kids are running around the background, the dog's in it, but it's who we are. So when somebody's phones us to work with us, we've already set a little bit of a boundary up. That they know, hey, they got kids. They phone to see a house. I might be at the rink, or I might have hockey going on. So it kind of already starts that foundation that we do have some parameters around when we're available and that, and from that side of it.
So you go in, you kind of know the value that you want to bring, kind of the key things, you shoot it. Typically, like, how long does it take you to put out a community video? Like, how much time investment do you put into it?
I mean, it all depends. I mean, like the videos we're doing with the mayor, it's a new series we have coming up. They're 10 to 15 minute long conversations. But when we're doing just spotlights on certain restaurants or spotlights on arenas and that, there'll be a minute and a half, and they'll be all in one shot. Like, we try and do very little editing in those, because if I screw up what I'm saying, I'm gonna screw it up. It's not the end of the world. I'm talking about a good restaurant like Joe Beaver's in town that we love. It is what we are. So
and typically your first take is your best take anyways. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to do a video and have had it somewhat scripted, and then the first time, and then I screw up, and then I could never get back that initial energy you had when you first come on camera. It's always definitely a little bit harder. So first take is best take. Don't waste time doing 20 takes, because by the 20th take, it's not going to be as good as what you had your first time around.
And the one thing I've noticed too, because when we first started, everything was scripted. We tried to have that script. I remember in Convert, we'd have our camera behind us. We'd have what we wanted to say. And if you got off that script and said a wrong word, you just froze. And it was done. And it wasn't you anymore, and you're like, oh crap, and you have to start again. And so you just kind of overthought it, where now we just go in like we have an idea of what we want, and we just say what we want and kind of go with it.
Great. Just checking in on the comments here. Gina just asked, any tips for doing video solo, or is it better to have someone film you? How do you handle that?
We've done both. We have a tripod that we'll set up for. I'll do it all the time, or a selfie stick that we've used.
I got my DJI. I'm just gonna pull this out because I literally have it in my bag here behind you. So when you're doing solo videos, this is it. I think this is hands down one of the best tools that you can have. This is what it looks like. And you just pop your phone in there, and literally you can just hold it up, and it kind of holds sideways. But when you got the phone, then you can look into the camera. It doesn't have that shaky Blair Witch kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be doing solo, this is fantastic. Especially if you're highlighting a property, you can start off with the video on you, switch to the back-facing property, and then you can see the property and everything. So if you're doing a lot of solo video, Gina, something like that will be a massive investment, and better than dragging someone along and paying for someone to come film you.
And I got to admit, this is the most valuable tool we own, because all of our listing videos, everything is shot with this is what, if I lost this thing, I would be completely lost. Like that is the most important piece that we've ever bought right there.
I mean, even at BombBomb, I mean, I'm using that all. That's why it's in my bag. Like anytime that we have opportunity to shoot video or whatever, and we're using our phones, I think it's one of the best things out there. As I mentioned earlier, they're getting ready to come out the second version. I just saw that it was advertised. So if you're on the edge, do a little research before you commit it to anything, because the second version will let you go vertical, which it will be nice for video going live and things like that. A little longer battery life, I read, and a little cheaper. So check that out. And again, we don't get any kickback from DJI. We just love their products. So great question, Gina. Let's see, just want to pop in here. So this is great. A good question here from Becky. When you talk about video distribution, right? So what channels, when you were talking listing, we're talking community videos, you talked one-to-one. Tell me a little bit about kind of your distribution strategies and who gets what video.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, initially every video, minus the one-to-one, those go directly right to the clients that. But every video we shoot goes to Facebook. There's no questions about it. It gets embedded naturally or natively into Facebook, so it plays right away. Right now we're in the process of moving all of our stuff from one YouTube channel to another, so we can brand it properly. So it'll all end up on YouTube. It all ends up on our website, and then we'll kind of continue to share it out through there. But the first and foremost, we've had the most success with Facebook. No question about it. And especially now as they're getting more and more into video, I mean, you can create playlists on your page, and you can. It is another form of YouTube at this point. So we do it on both platforms a lot.
Cool. The other question Becky was asking was kind of the one-to-one. How do you do an attachment? You know, Becky, that's one of the cool things BombBomb gives you, is that ability to do one-to-one video. So that way you don't have to worry about an attachment. You can send one-to-one to VIP clients, or you can send it out to your entire database. So email distribution with BombBomb is probably going to be one of the ways to be able to get that done. Bob just popped in another question, or sorry, it's Dennis asking, what was that tool called again? Dennis, it is the DJI Osmo. So OSMO, Osmo. It's a great tool. You can find them in a lot of different places. It looks like the team just popped it in the channel there, so you can click through and check out the link there. So we've covered a lot of good topics here. Typically, we try to keep the Bombcast to about 30 minutes. As we mentioned earlier, thank you guys for stopping your day to join us and be part of this conversation. We couldn't be here without you. But before we sign off, we want to make sure we answer any other lingering questions. So I'm going to look to the team. Anything there that would be helpful for us to answer as I kind of scroll through here as well?
Social media channels posting on social media, maybe?
Yeah, Jennifer was asking, so you know, what other social media channels? So we mentioned Facebook, we mentioned YouTube. Do you do anything with Instagram?
Yeah, we are. We do a little bit. That's one of the things here I'm excited about this weekend, is to pick Jesse's brain a little bit more about doing the Instagram stories and stuff. We do a lot of pictures in that through Instagram, but we are getting more, or want to get more into Instagram. I mean, Jesse's a great example of crushing it in Instagram stories and video, and that's a huge part of what we want to do this year, and leverage Instagram. As far as any of the other platforms, not overly. We'll link everything through to Twitter and that, but it's not
bringing you a lot of return.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I think at this point it seems like Facebook, YouTube. I'm starting to see and read more and more that LinkedIn, you know, is one of the fastest growing social sites. And when you're dealing with business professionals, I think there's some space there. But a lot of times, you know, when you're working with consumers, you're going to find them on Facebook or Instagram before you find them really anywhere else. So good question, Jennifer, on that side of things. Christopher asked, are you doing any community videos using BombBomb or just a standard video? So when you do a community video, do you send that out to your database as like another touch point, or is it just for people to find on Facebook and
right
YouTube?
Now it's just on Facebook and YouTube. But what we'll probably set up is, with this series we have coming, kind of shoot out a video saying this is what we're about to do. This is where you can find it in that. we send out probably 2 or 3 emails a month, like blast emails.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want to get going with a lot more, because we do send quite a bit of one-to-one stuff as well. So if I start filling their inbox more than that, I mean, we're only a town of 50,000 people. Enough is it's going to be oversaturated, because then I'm going to see you 4 or 5 times during that month as well. So right now, it's more distributed through Facebook.
And I think honestly, you got to think about, you know, what is your list like too, and who is your audience. You know, if you have an audience that's not heavily engaged on Facebook, but you got their emails, you know, email is going to give you that more direct channel of communication to them, versus when you do post to Facebook, you got to work kind of Facebook, right? You got to know if it's going to boost it, you're going to put some money behind it, get better exposure. So you really got to make those decisions for your business and how you want to handle that and that distribution channel. And sometimes multiple channels are good, right? People might see it on Facebook and in their email. It's not a bad thing. Just keeping you top of mind and kind of getting you in front of more people.
And I mean, just to touch on that, our database, we're connected with our database in social anyway, so they're going to see it through there. We keep a pretty tight database. We don't have a ton of cold leads that we're trying to farm and maintain for years on end. It's a pretty tight little circle we keep, and so for me to post it on Facebook and send it out to them, they're going to kind of see it twice. So we keep it a lot more in social and interact and engage there with them.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, I think we've come to the end here. I think we got the majority of the questions covered. I'm looking to the team. Are we good on that side of things? Awesome. Again, thank you everyone for joining us for the 10th episode of the BombCast. Pretty excited about our next episode because we have coming up the first person, maybe, but it's going to be really dang close, to have uploaded over 10,000 videos in their BombBomb account. 10,000 videos, a sales expert that's going to come on and talk about what he's learned going through the process of doing 10,000 videos. So excited to have them on our next episode of the BombCast, which will be in 2 weeks. Thank you guys again for being a part of this, for taking time out of your day. Make sure you turn on notifications so that way when we go live, you know when you can jump in and join us and take advantage of being able to talk to our guests and interact with them live. So thank you everyone. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you later.
See you guys.